Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I'm still not sure how I should do these intros, so if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments. Also, if you like my effort, give this video like, comment and surely subscribe if you want to see more. So today we are gonna be working on this CBR 929. I moved this CBR 929 here so we can have a better lighting on this. I haven't looked at it yet. The previous owner said that it's seized and the engine is gone. So let's take a closer look at it, what they did to it. They took off the left cover with the stator. They took off the airbox, couple hoses, the tank with the fuel pump is gone, but we have that sitting there. The battery is disconnected, and interestingly, you can't see that here, but let me show you this. They took off the starter. As you can see, the starters here. Here we have the rest of our airbox, and there is the tank. They left the tank sitting on the fuel cap, and through the vent the gasoline leaked and destroyed this paint, as you can see here. But the fuel pump is still in there, so hopefully that's good. You have the rest of the fairings here. So first things first, let's start with the electrical system. So let's measure the voltage on this battery. I suppose it's dead as a doornail. So let's set the multimeter to 20 volts and let's grab our leads, and hopefully you can see the voltage, and the voltage is 12.6, which is rather good. I didn't expect that. They said this bike set for I think a year or two. So let's reconnect our positive terminal and we'll see. That should be enough. Ground's good. So let's see. Nothing. So let's check the usual culprits. Let's check the main fuse here, and then we have this fuse box here, and if that has power, I'll have to probe it up front here. So let me check that. So the main fuse is good. You have to take off the plug in order to get to the main fuse. That's in my head not the best engineering solution, but hey, it is what it is. So now let's poke in here and let's see if we have a battery voltage going to this terminal on here. We'll set our multimeter again to 20 volts, grab our leads, put one on the ground side and one on the, yeah, we do have power on our main relay, and as you can see there was some attempt at the past to jump start it. So now we should probably check the main fuses here. So let me check them real quick, and I'll tell you the result in just a sec. Okay, I've done a little bit poking, and I've got power on some of these wires back here, but not up front here. So let me see if we don't have anything unplugged. The main harness here is plugged, so is this one. This is for the mass air pressure sensor, I would guess. This is for the ambient temperature sensor. This is for the fuel pump, I would guess. And I would say that we found our problem. This is the ground wire that's, at least I think it is. Yes, it is our ground wire that's going from the battery. So this could be our problem, right? So let's get this thing put somewhere on nice shiny ground, and let's see if that will make any difference. Since I can't find a place to ground this thing without having to drill a bigger hole into this, they took off the starter and this left stator cover, and as I said, I turned this thing with the ratchet and it did turn over. I can see that they pulled also this upper hose to get an easier access to the starter, so this thing shouldn't have any coolant in it. Let's put the starter back in and ground the bike and put the starter back in one step. Before we put the starter back in, let's just make sure that it's working properly, and so we don't have to get it out again. To test the motorcycle starter is very easy. Just put ground to the body of the starter and the positive side to the stud that's sticking off the top of the starter. So let's turn on the hummingbird here. That starter wasn't really particularly happy, but it seems to be working, so it's maybe a little bit slower, but we'll see. I think it will suffice. And if not, if it doesn't want to turn the bike over, I have a spare one. So let's put it back in and we'll see what this thing does. And I just made a mess, since I thought that this coolant hose was off, so we don't have any coolant above it. I yanked it off and sure enough, it had coolant in it, so I have to drain it. I don't know if you can see that, but the flow of coolant ate this bolt thin, as you can see. Can you see the thin out part of the threads? So the starter is in place. We are missing the bolts and the nut that should go on it. Let me scramble some hardware and we'll continue. So now that we have the starter installed, the ground wire hooked up, so let's see if that made any difference. And look at that, we have our power and our gauges. So we can see, let me get a rag, that this bike had 33,000 kilometers, and it's flashing some fault codes. That's to be expected. We have a lot of stuff unplugged, so let's see if anything of this does anything. No, never mind though. Now that we know we have power, we have no coolant, let's put the stator and stator cover back on and let's drain the oil to see if there's any, and then try to turn it over. If it does turn over on the starter, we will put some used motor oil into it, get the tank, plugged everything back together, and try to start this thing if it's possible. The stator cover is back on with just couple bolts hanging to it. We will get it right if we can get it to turn over. This is just for the support of that intermediate shaft for the toothed gear that meshes into the starter and the flywheel. So let's turn on the ignition and try if it's going to spin over. The starter relay is clicking, but the bike doesn't want to turn over, as you can see. So yeah, I know where the problem is. I forgot to put in the positive wire from this relay onto the starter. Oh, you big dummy. Is that right? Yeah, we have nothing on the starter. Let me get a fix. Oops. Nobody's perfect. So now with that taken care of, let's see. In attempt number 2. I can clearly hear that we have one of the cylinders is weak. As you can see or hear, listen to this. You can clearly hear that one of the cylinders is weaker than the other. So let me pull the spark plug, check for spark. I reckon we will have one, but just to make sure, let me pull that. Then I'll have to get the tank filled up with some gasoline, plumb it in, plug it, everything in, and let's try to get this thing started. Oh yeah, and the oil first. We have to do the oil. Everyone's favorite spark check. And we do have spark. Before we get into the oil, let's check the insides. Hold on, I'm bending the key. I need 2 hands. Well, we are done, I guess. This key is bent. Let me try to straighten it up, but I'm afraid that it will break, and we are done. That might be the end of this video. Yeah, fortunately I made it straighter, so it now turns the ignition again. So where were we? See? Working. So let's check the insides of the tank. So far I can see an overspray, and the bottom of the tank and the fuel pump here, they look fine. So let's see if we can hear the fuel pump running. I don't hear the fuel pump running, so that may be another issue. I'll have to look in that. So this is the fuel pump assembly out of the tank. All the hoses are petrified, and here you can see the powder coming out of the tank. So let me see if we can feed directly 12 volts to this connector, if that's going to do anything for us. If not, we will take this fuel pump out, spray carb clean or brake clean into it, try to get it moving again. This is judging by the gumminess that's inside this bolt here. This had a bad fuel sitting in it, so it might be glued together with that eco-friendly stuff in the fuel. So let me get this connector off, let me get the 12 volt source, and we'll see if this will do anything for us. I took the oiled fuel pump off, so now let's see. Plus on the left hand side and the minus on the right hand side. Nothing. This pump is dead. So we have couple options. We could uncrimp it on the bottom here. We can buy a brand new one from China or Amazon, or we can scrap this whole bike right away. I think I will uncrimp it and look what's hiding inside. Well, I have it uncrimped. There is this bottom cover, and then we have these little plastic fingers that accelerates the fuel that's coming right through this hole and exiting, going into this path and out this way. But I don't think there is anything we can do to these things. The insides doesn't want to come out, so we're probably done with this. We need to get another one of these. Well, that's disappointing. I hope I can scramble some money for replacement, at least Chinese pump. So until then, this is the end of the part 1. I'm sorry, but thanks for your patience. Have a nice day. I'm out of here. Bye. Well, sitting here thinking about it, I'm gonna order a replacement pump for that CBR 929, and we'll see if we can get it at least to fire over. So I will see you, hopefully see you, in the episode 2 of this CBR 929 with the new fuel pump. So this is the end of this episode. Bye.